What a synchronicity right now. I don't usually watch PewDiePie. Oh, no. I just unsubscribed because I thought there's no need to be subscribed because, like, everybody knows him. And I don't want to add to the oligarchy. Anyway, look, I'll even subscribe back. There you go. Like it matters to him. 102 million subscribers. Intense. Anyway, okay, Boomer. It's about obviously the baby boomers, and I was like, oh, what? And you know, this video is only 1 hour old. It's the first video I pressed on his channel, and I went, what do they mean by boomer? Because I was just literally, for the last like couple of months, the thought has been precipitating and densifying in me to get ready to make an Organic Portals baby boomer video, and here we are. But you know, I was waiting for the time, and obviously this is the signal. So baby boomers born between 1946 and 1964 officially. No, not everyone over the age of 25 is a boomer. So it's, you know, my parents and the people who are what, like 60 or 70 or something now? Or what, 1946? Yeah, you'd be about 60 and 70. Right, so what's interesting is that I had the idea come to me about the baby boomers. And I just wanted to write a book about it a long time ago. I think you know, they kind of shove out or don't let in the younger generations. They always act like they know everything, and they're outdated by now. You guys didn't even have the internet. So by the time I'm 30, I know what you knew by the time you're like 40 or 50, you know? If you understand that on the internet you can use hyperlinks instead of just books, where there was no hyperlinks, you see. And you can information assimilate quicker and correlate more, so you can create better neuronal structures. I have a more malleable brain, and if you understand that we are coming from density always, you know, moving into higher strata, that is how the universe works in a multidimensional sense. We're always moving into higher strata. And, you know, 1950s, when you look at Terence McKenna's time wave, you realize that, and, you know, not just his time wave, you look at the period, you know, black and white TV, even more of a simplification than color, you know what I mean? And this 1940s, 50s period, right, before the 60s and the 64-year cycle of the time wave zero. That's why in 1969, Terence said, we had it all, because it was like a little eschaton, maybe. You might think of it like that. The eschaton was 2012, the end of individual human cultural history into the ocean of humanity. So we went from tribes to cultures like rivers. Now these rivers are entering the ocean of humanity. Yeah, we're becoming one, we've got the internet, etc. So what's funny is that, you know, that's a denser time period and more simplistic. Not just black and white TV. Look at the tone of the people. They're clearly carrying a more mundane tone and resonance, yeah? When you look at the 50s compared to the 60s, everyone on psychedelic drugs, dancing around and so on. And you look at the 50s and it was like that black and white, go to the army, you know, the stay-at-home wife, the 9-to-5 job, everything was very habitual, is my point as well, not just black and white. But everything was very habitual, and the black and white thing is not just TV, it's in the meaning of essence, concrescence. Here at the end, we have glow-in-the-dark toilet paper. It's just an example I like to use, but essence, concrescence, coincidentia oppositorum, where, you know, you get two things put together and like the universe saves, like, I don't know, the best parts of, or whatever parts of those two things it wants to carry into the one thing. So those two things become one, and there's no difference between one side or the other, yet it still encapsulates the previous two different things. That's coincidentia oppositorum and essence concrescence into the eschaton, 2012. So And not just that date, 2012, it was from 2007 to 2017. This was the naked singularity vortex with 2012 at the center. So what I find funny is that it's very easy to see this. And I mean like canny, funny, it's like weird and interesting, but yeah, it's true, right? Like you look at the 60s and so on, everyone like had more novelty. Remember, Terence McKenna's time wave was about that our universe has two forces, not just the weak nuclear force, the strong, gravity and that, but that it has two other forces, that we hitherto didn't even consider: habituality versus novelty. And he takes you through a time wave, an oscillation of energetic nature, and presumably goes back to the start of the universe because it's about complexity. And so the least complex time was like the electron field into the atoms, into RNA, DNA, and you have humans, So we're clearly more complex, and the universe is a complexity creating and conserving machine. Yeah, conserving as well. So naturally, when you get a concrescence in the next generation, ultimately they should have a lighter, quicker, more malleable brain structure and like technically a more complex view of the world. That's not for everyone in the preceding generations, but the concrescences in each generation. Like I might be a concrescence in knowledge in my generation Y because of my knowledge. So what's interesting is that, I've been wanting to do this video in a very negative tone, and I think I need to go into that now. Get a little bit more serious here. I'm sorry. I'm going to hurt some feelings, but you'll get over it. I was going to write a book, a long, long ago, and now that I do organic portals, soulless humans, self-spiritless humans who belong to a group soul, not individual, their own soul basically. They don't have their own spirit. These empty shell people we call organic portals. Now I do these videos, I think about density even more. And I even remember, once again, Mr. Terence McKenna's quote, it's like you can part these people like wheat. It's like they are made of denser stuff than us. And what am I always saying in almost every organic portal video? That organic portals are just the surface anthropoid monkey body. They're just the surface. That's the 2D organic portal. The best they seem to get is the 3D seed point of sovereignty ego perspective, which is very dim consciousness, right? So, and they don't proceed into the fourth dimensional feeling body or higher fifth dimensional light body and the upper dimensions, the intangible upper dimensions, which you can hear me talk about on my channel more and more as the years go on, so subscribe. Get me to 102 million. Instead of like these random videos, we can like know a lot of stuff, I'm sure I can be helpful to a lot of people. So, help me out, subscribe to the channel. Also, my birthday's coming up, so it's a great time to help me out with my birthday coming up. Please. All right. So I did want to write a book a long time ago, and I don't know if I'm going to. It's because I'm pissed off that I so often, I don't go for many jobs, but when I go for jobs, you're always being interviewed by like an echo boomer most of the time, like an echo boomer, the generation after the baby boomers, which are basically baby boomers to me, because just the way they are and, the close correlation to the time period being brought up by the baby boomers, they obviously you take on a lot of mannerisms from your parents and stuff, especially organic portals do, because they don't think for themselves. And what I'm trying to say is that in the baby boomer population, there must therefore be more organic portals. Why? I've talked about that in some countries with a lot of people. I didn't say it right. I said like China, for instance. I said like in countries like that, not just there, you might find a lot of organic portals in one video. But what I really should have said was like communist countries with like really intense frequency control. It's the same here in Uruguay, and there's only 3 million people. And it's very communist. Yeah, they think they're socialist. Okay, whatever. Okay. Very social here in Uruguay. Don't even have public toilets anywhere. Very social. Socialists. Yeah, okay. So anyway, back to what I was saying. I think that there's more organic portals in the baby boomer generation. That's what I'm trying to get at. So, I'm not getting into my book where I was going to write negative about how they always block me. They seem to block me. They act like if you've got too much confidence, they're like, you can't be more confident than me. I'm older than you. I necessarily know more because I'm older. But that's incorrect because you didn't even have the internet. So that's like a stupid argument. It's not a good argument. Okay, boomer. I'm getting on this trend. This is one trend I am getting on. Okay, boomer. You'll have to watch his video to understand, obviously. It's an insult, the ultimate insult. Look at the video title. And I'm so happy Gen Z is coming up with this one. Good on you guys. This is probably the best thing I've ever seen from Generation Z. Insert silent cricket sounds here. Seriously. Well, they're calling you guys Generation Snowflake as well. Anyway, so this is the best thing I think that's come out of Gen Z. Okay, boomer. That's just my opinion. That's not a objective universal truth, but I'll say it anyway. So what's interesting is that because they were from a more habitual time period, we talked about the time wave, you'll have to go study it. But I mean, you can just look at them. They were in suits. It was black and white. It was the way they all spoke. Gangsters were like the most novel people alive then. That's why we all like watching the old gangster movies, because they broke all the frequency controls. All the gangsters, they were like, fuck all that, we're going to break your frequency control. Fuck your control, right? And that's what frequency control is, controlling another person's frequency, yeah? And that's also family of dark and very relative, and I mean not black-skinned people, family of dark, like dark consciousness, yeah? There's family of light, family of love, and family of dark in this universe. And they have the will to power a lot. I noticed the baby boomers and echo boomers. The echo boomers a little bit less, I notice. But, they take in some of the boomers' mannerisms. But no, definitely the baby boomers seem to me to have much more. And much more density and that habitual nature, you see. So for those three factors, I mean, I'm already building a good argument, right? Well, it's quite solid if you understand what I'm talking about. So I'm happy that this movement's finally come, because they're acting like blocking mechanism, these echo and baby boomers, because they've got all the control positions. Like they're on all the boards they're all the CEOs, you know what I mean? They're in all the big wig positions, plus, they were creating all these companies, and then, they boomed a lot of children who were not going to be obviously put straight into the CEO on the head of a corporation position, were they? Right? And so they've held those power positions for 50, 60 years. And this has really annoyed me. That's why I was going to write a book, because they're acting like blockers. And I've also mentioned organic portals as a stabilization functionality of any given species morphogenetic field, like the human species morphogenetic field, and how that central computing 2D group soul nature of the organic portals is now not just a stabilization function, but is corrupted into a blocking action. And I would like to see fatness rates too, actually, because that would go with density. We mentioned density, previous creations more dense. Although there is you might not see what I'm saying, because there is a process of densification Like the computers are more dense than the human body, then we'll have crystalline beings, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about mentally involution or involuting into higher strata is actual complexities, most novel evolution, in my opinion. Might just be my opinion, but if you look at the universe, I still think that's objective, not just subjective anyway. So I'd like to see fatness rates. If there's more fatness, I don't know the statistics, that's why I said I'd like to see them. But yeah, I find that very interesting. I'd like to see if they're also more fatter than, our generations, the younger generations like Gen Z and Gen Y and Gen X. When I look around, I do think so, just by guessing. What do you guys think? Comment under the video. Do you think that, out of proportion of generation fatness, do you think the do you think the baby boomers are more fat often? Or, in the generation, do you reckon they have more percentage of fat people? I don't mean obese, I just mean even a gut, because they ate more meat. The superfood revolution, right? The superfoods are lighter strata foods. If you look at the vibrational food pyramid, you've got the sun foods up the top, spirulina, goji berries, etc. Outside of the vibrational pyramid is the psychedelics, by the way, because Marcus Patrick doesn't have that on his vibrational food pyramid. I've got that in consciousazine.net, the website, on Natural Nutritional Warriors page. So what do you guys think? Comment below the video, let me know. But, what was I saying? I forgot what point I was on there, but yeah, in my opinion, because this is an organic portal video, so I'll swing it back to this. In my opinion, I do see more, and I mean, I'm the leader and first, second place in the organic portal movement, you know what I mean? I have like almost 300 videos just on organic portals, so I don't want to say I'm an authority, but I mean, I'm leading the movement, you understand? One of the people leading the movement. So, I mean, it's kind of authoritarian a bit, because, you've got obviously a lot of knowledge if you're leading the movement. So anyway, in my opinion, as a leader of the movement of organic Portals Soulless humans videos on YouTube, I think that the baby boomers are more organic portal in nature. Remember what I said back to Terence McKenna's quote. It's like you can part these people like wheat. It's like they're made of denser stuff than us. And the density factor is one thing I think you need to look at when you're considering what I'm saying in this video. Anyway, I think that's enough. Let me know what you guys think. Please leave a like. The more likes you leave on my videos, like the quicker I see the likes pick up the next day, and so on, the quicker I'll post the next video. So the more likes, the quicker I post the next video. Alright, thanks guys. Let me know what you think below. Okay, boomer. Not the boomers though. No boomer comments.